New revelations are now emerging about Ellen's alleged ties to Epstein, and claims that she may have been involved in bringing young performers to his private island. Recently leaked audio messages and email exchanges have surfaced, in which Epstein reportedly used coded language to refer to individuals connected to the case. In one newly released voice note attributed to his victim Virginia Giuffre, it is suggested that Epstein did not operate by himself and may have had help from others.
Many other girls, and a lot of things have happened, okay? So, just take a deep breath.
I'm trying. It's just I'm not that type of person. That's why I was so.
And I understand that, and that seems to be a case with a lot of people. Okay, either they need cash quickly and they fall into this rut. But that's why I'm trying to.
I understand.
Look into this, but that's why I need you to be totally honest with me.
I am being
totally
completely
truthful.
honest with you.
Okay. So what else happened?
And then when he started pleasing himself, he got up and he went over to a drawer and he pulled out this thing, and then he pulled down my and then he.
In the early 2000s, a British woman named Virginia Giuffre came forward with serious allegations involving Ghislaine Maxwell. She stated that Maxwell brought her to Jeffrey Epstein's private island and coerced her into engaging in encounters with influential individuals, including figures connected to the British royal family, beginning when she was only 14 years old. To support her claims, Virginia said she possessed photographs featuring some of these individuals, among them Prince Andrew. She also explained that Epstein did not operate independently, but was part of a wider system that included multiple properties and powerful associates across the United States, the United Kingdom, and the Virgin Islands. According to her account, Epstein used his private aircraft to transport women to secret gatherings and organized networks where prominent figures from government and media circles were reportedly involved.
A lot of people involved. It took doctors, psychiatrists, gynecologists, dentists. All these people knew what was going on, hairstylists. I mean, the list goes on. I could keep going on and on and on. Drivers, chauffeurs, butlers, housemaids. It took all of these people turning a blind eye, which they weren't blind to because we were right there blatantly in front of them. They knew exactly what was going on. Everyone's turned a blind eye in the place where I was supposed to be protected, in my country where I was supposed to be protected. The justice system failed us then. I believe they're going to do something amazing for us now. I really believe in them. I believe that the New York Southern District wants to do the right thing. And I will do everything that I can do to be.
Despite the fact that no additional individuals were formally charged and the Department of Justice maintained that Epstein acted on his own, leaked documents along with Virginia's statements suggested that others may have been connected. In 2019, just weeks before the Epstein files were officially made public, Virginia shared on social media that she had been receiving warnings from
Virginia had
unidentified
announced that she was
sources,
writing a book about
cautioning her
everyone
about
she
the
saw during her
consequences of
time on
continuing
Epstein's
to speak
island.
out. She also announced plans to publish a book detailing the people she encountered during her time on Epstein's island and aboard his private aircraft. However, before the book could be released, she was involved in a collision with a truck. Although she survived the incident, reports later claimed that she died only days afterward. Shortly before her death, Virginia posted a message online stating that she believed she was being targeted. In that message, she emphasized that she was not suicidal and had communicated this to both her therapist and her doctor. She added that if anything were to happen to her, she wanted the matter to be taken seriously and asked for protection for her family, saying that there were individuals who wanted her silenced.
And Alive Now, I'm Austin Westfall. Breaking news coming in, some sad news to share. We're learning this from the New York Post, several other outlets reporting this as well. Virginia Giuffre, the most prominent victim of the late convicted Jeffrey Epstein, took her own life on Thursday. This is just weeks after she made headlines for saying that she had days to live after she claimed to have been hit by a bus. A statement given to NBC News was quoted as such from the 41-year-old's family. It says, "It's with utterly broken hearts that we announce that Virginia passed away last night at her farm in Western Australia. She lost her life to after being a lifelong victim of sexual abuse and trafficking. The New York Post says that Giuffre took legal action against billionaire financier Epstein in 2015, alleging that she was trafficked at age 16 after his ex-lover and convicted Madam Ghislaine Maxwell recruited her from her job as a locker room attendant at President Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort. The mom of 3, according to the Post, also alleged that she was forced to have sex with disgraced Prince Andrew 3 times when she was 17, including at Epstein's Little St. James Island in New Mexico and in Maxwell's London home, where a notorious photo of her with King Charles' eldest brother was taken.
The manuscript Virginia had been working on before her death was left unfinished, though some sections were eventually made public. The claims outlined in those pages contributed to the legal troubles faced by Prince Andrew, a senior member of the British royal family. Notably, a large portion of the material she had written reportedly went missing around the time she died. However, the sections that had already been submitted to her publisher contained deeply troubling allegations.
Which has just been released. In it, she describes being trafficked by Jeffrey Epstein to, quote, a man who raped me more savagely than anyone had before. Now, it's worth noting that in the US edition of the book, she described the man in legal filings only as, quote, a prime minister, and that he had repeatedly choked her until she lost consciousness and, quote, took pleasure in seeing me fear for my life. Giuffre doesn't name the Prime Minister or many of the other men that she writes about in this book. Her co-author, Amy Wallace, says it shouldn't be up to the survivors of abuse out there. It should be the authorities, which is why she's calling for the so-called Epstein files to be released. Giuffre does name Epstein and Prince Andrew, of course, who she says she had encounters with in multiple locations.
In her final recorded message, Virginia appeared to reinforce long-standing claims surrounding the case. She stated that Epstein had not acted independently and warned that those who tried to expose him risked being silenced. She also expressed the belief that the Department of Justice had not been fully transparent and that complete records had yet to be made public, despite the years that had passed since Epstein's death. At one point, FBI Director Kash Patel was reportedly recorded addressing that and denying that Epstein had been killed. During an appearance on Joe Rogan's podcast, he stated that he did not believe Epstein's death was the result of murder. The discussion then shifts to comments made by Ghislaine Maxwell, widely known as Epstein's closest associate, regarding these claims.
He did not die by, given all the things we just talked about.
I do not believe he died by.
And do you believe that, do you have any speculation or view of who?
The audio recording was made public in 2024. A year later, in 2025, both the FBI and the Department of Justice stated that the Epstein files would be released. This announcement quickly caused a major reaction across the entertainment world. Documents from those files, including emails and recorded messages, suggested that Epstein leveraged his ties within the industry to bring in young women. He was also reportedly connected to multiple modeling agencies, where he was identified as a talent scout. Following this announcement, one notable individual reportedly left the United States soon afterward.
She sounded so sincere, didn't she?
Very
she
sincere.
Virtually choke on her words. But the best one for me is Ellen DeGeneres, who is, by the way, a very nasty person. I've had dealings with her in Australia. Could I tell you some stories about that cow? But anyway, good riddance to her. But she was quite friendly with that P. Diddy bloke, wasn't she?
Well, this is why I say release the Diddy files.
Yeah.
Release the Diddy files. Come on, Donald Trump. We want to know whose name.
So maybe she's hightailing out of there before all that is thrown at her as well. But what a bunch of...
There were other developments that raised further questions. Not long after Ellen DeGeneres reportedly left the United States, her executive producer Stephen Twitchboss, whom she often described as her closest collaborator, was reported to have died. According to claims surrounding a note attributed to him, he allegedly shared details with his wife about what he had witnessed while working on the show. The account suggested he referenced situations involving influential individuals, including names he never expected to be connected to such matters. He reportedly stated that he had been pressured to remain silent and expressed that certain people around him, including Ellen, were not who they appeared to be. Following this, there were mentions of a supposed voice recording addressed to her, which allegedly contained further revelations. That recording has never been officially released, but references to it have circulated across online discussions and private messages.
Tonight about the tragic suicide of Stephen Twitch Boss and the detailed steps he took to hide his plans. TMZ is reporting when Twitch left his home the day before his suicide, he took an Uber to a motel about a mile away. At the motel, he switched his phone to airplane mode so no one could reach him. The motel manager says he checked in under his own name and never left his room. We also now know that Twitch left his note. Details have not been made public, but TMZ reports the note alluded to challenges Twitch had faced in the past. Entertainer Tyler Perry knows firsthand what that is like.
I want to take you back to a time in my life where I tried to commit suicide a couple of times because it was so dark. I thought the only way to make this better, this pain go away, is to end my life. Had any of those attempts happened, I would have missed the best part of.
Some critics have pointed to past interviews as further cause for concern, suggesting that certain moments now appear questionable in hindsight. During one segment featuring Sandra Bullock, Ellen DeGeneres and her guests spoke about a cosmetic product derived from foreskin cells, joking about its supposed anti-aging effects. At the time, the exchange was presented in a light-hearted, humorous way, but it has since been revisited by some viewers in a more critical context.
Facial that you're obsessed with, how many, did you get the whole cast of Ocean's 8 to do
Not
this?
everybody.
Okay, good, smart ones.
Just those that I thought would appreciate it.
Okay, explain what it is.
Well, it's this way in which one forces through microneedling. It's like a little roller with these, some of you, I think many of you know it, and it pushes through the skin and ruptures the collagen and then boosts it. You look like a burn victim for a day, but then it pushes the
What are you pushing into the skin, Sandra?
Sarah?
Carrie? What are you pushing into the skin?
Well, you push in whatever the facialist would like to insert into your pores.
But what is it?
It is an extraction from a piece of skin that came from a young person far, far away, and they somehow figured out how to extract.
It's foreskin from a.
While it may seem unbelievable to some, similar rumors connected to Hollywood have circulated for many years. At one point, videos were said to show Peter Nygard allegedly attempting to purchase aborted fetuses. This same individual later became widely known for facing severe criminal accusations and was ultimately convicted in cases involving the exploitation and assault of multiple women over a long period of time.
That Peter and I are investing in that's called SCNT, which takes the egg of a young, perfect woman specimen, takes the egg and takes out the nucleus and puts our DNA in the nucleus. They just go in and take it out.
It's painful, right?
Huh?
Is it painful?
Yeah, a little bit. And this is part of this genetic greatness that we don't see in any other race on the planet. These curvy black women from Africa. You girls have a kind of a monopoly on this genetic perfection, and we want some of that. So, girls, for $100, we will pay you for your egg.
No, you gotta be out of your monkey.
You want-
You can get paid a lot more than that.
So how much do you want for it? Let's bid. I bid $500 for, I'm prepared to outbid him anyway. Whatever I bid, he's gonna outbid me.
I bought about $60,000 worth of eggs.
Yeah.
If you have a abortion, that's very valuable. Umbilical cord, and placenta, even your period blood is so rich with stem cells.
Yeah.
We regard it as waste, and it actually should be. It should be captured as recycled.
The recently released emails from the Epstein files show Jeffrey Epstein was interested in genetic medicine. He paid a researcher at Massachusetts General Hospital for tests that could be used to help create stem cells. Investigators found a $2,000 invoice from 2014 for sequencing part of Epstein's genome. The doctor that he paid also provided an estimate for personalized longevity studies that would use gene editing. He told investigators Epstein was enrolled in the Personal Genome Project at Harvard University.
Some viewers have also speculated about visual similarities, suggesting that the set design of the Ellen DeGeneres show may have been inspired by a structure located on Little St. James, the island associated with Jeffrey Epstein.
Nice. We could have done this here.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, but I was like, you know what? That's a good way to die. They're not going to let me buy that place. Look at it.
Oh, well, you know where that is too, right? The similar image to that, right?
No.
I know Jamie does.
What is it?
It's on the set of a famous talk show that's now not on anymore.
Oh, Ellen? Was that Ellen?
Yeah.
Really?
Just look at the temple and then look at the...
Let me see Ellen's background.
To illustrate the type of allegations being discussed about Ellen DeGeneres, one example often brought up involves a segment with Justin Bieber. In that instance, she had him take part in a prank as part of the show. Around this period, public perception of Ellen DeGeneres began to shift as workplace-related allegations involving her talk show circulated widely online and in the media. Eventually, the Ellen DeGeneres show came to an end following these reports. Many viewers expressed surprise, as her long-standing public image had been strongly associated with kindness and positivity. In response to the controversy, she issued a public apology addressing concerns about the workplace environment on her show. During this period, there was also a final episode segment in which Stephen Twitch Boss appeared on stage alongside her.
That someone who seems so nice is not nice at all.
She doesn't seem nice, but that's people have a very poor judge of character. She doesn't seem nice. It seems forced. People that are like that all the time, she doesn't seem nice. It's very forced. And whatever, you're allowed to be right? You're allowed to be nasty to people. You're accomplished. You're a comedian. You did the whole thing. What you're not allowed to do is have a Guantanamo Bay situation in the backstage of your show where everybody's walking around afraid for their life, and it's like Abu Ghraib where they're hooked up to wires and they
dogs
have like
around them.
Yeah, she's got dogs and hoods. If an intern's late, they have a hood on. I don't support that. That's just me.
Yeah.
Her exit from the public spotlight coincided with the announcement regarding the planned release of the Epstein files, which led some fans to draw their own conclusions about the timing. Around the same period, observers also noted changes in her appearance, including a shift in hair color after years of being known for her blonde look, along with her relocation to England in an effort to begin a new chapter away from Hollywood. For some viewers, these changes and the timing of her reduced public presence raised questions, leading them to speculate about whether there was any connection to the wider wave of scrutiny surrounding figures linked to Epstein.
Wife Portia de Rossi have reportedly fled the US, bound for the UK after Donald Trump's landslide victory. Numerous publications are reporting the couple have left the United States permanently. There are also reports the couple have put their Montecito mansion on the market. Entertainment publication The Wrap has the exclusive story and said Ellen DeGeneres and wife Portia de Rossi have moved to rural England, put their Montecito estate on the market, and plan to never return to the United States, telling friends the election of Donald Trump was their primary motivation. Ellen DeGeneres has been a vocal Trump critic, so the move doesn't come as a surprise to most.
We know it is widely documented that Jeffrey Epstein was accused of trafficking and exploiting young women, including individuals connected to modeling and the broader entertainment industry. In one email exchange attributed to Epstein, he allegedly responded to a filmmaker who was researching a story about a very bad man being sent to an island. In the message, he reportedly wrote that the character being described was based on him. He referenced being told about the project and remarked that the filmmaker almost fainted when he made that claim. This correspondence is said to have taken place roughly 7 months before his arrest.
Which one do you prefer, lewd and lascivious conduct or procuring minors? I suppose lewd and lascivious conduct. I would prefer lewd and lascivious conduct with a prostitute if possible. That exchange between Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell on May 23, 2008 is part of some 18,000 emails from Epstein's personal Yahoo account obtained by Bloomberg News.
The emails, which suggest the inbox was most active between 2005 and 2008, include messages spanning 2002 to 2022. Epstein died in 2019, and emails received after that are largely spam or marketing offers. Overall, the emails offer a raw look into the disgraced financier and vendor's world.
While this inbox wasn't the only one he used, the newly uncovered emails do suggest how central Maxwell was to his life, something that contradicts her telling of events. She's characterized herself as a former girlfriend and property manager for Epstein, not someone with eyes into his vast influence machine.
After the release of the Epstein-related files, more individuals who identified themselves as victims began coming forward with accounts describing their experiences linked to the island. One alleged victim, Marina Lacerta, spoke about the lasting impact of what she went through. She claimed that other people may know more about her own experiences than she does herself, suggesting that key records remain in government possession. She also stated that access to those documents could help her better understand and process what happened, but said she currently does not have them.
Known publicly only as victim number 1 in 2019 court documents. But now she's speaking out for the first time about her experience at the hands of Jeffrey Epstein. Her cooperation with the FBI was key to putting the offender behind bars. She says she was just 14 years old and living in a broken home in New York City when a friend brought her to meet Epstein to give him a massage.
I think with Jeffrey Epstein, it starts somewhere, but then it ends with either you having sex with him, whether you like it or not.
She became a part of a network of young girls in Astoria, Queens, recruited to be with Epstein, similar to what prosecutors say he did in Palm Beach, Florida.
When he has somebody new in his life, he likes to see them a lot. So I went there a whole bunch of times, and, it led to, unfortunately, he forced me to have sex with him, basically.
Lacerta says she was paid thousands of dollars and that as a young immigrant from Brazil, she says she believed being associated with a financier could lead to better opportunities.
It never happened, obviously, because it came to a point when I was, I'd say 16 and a half or 17. He didn't want me anymore. He was just like, you're too old.
He said that?
He's like, you're too old.
Another woman who identified herself as a victim described feeling extreme fear during her time connected to Epstein's island. She testified that she made multiple attempts to escape because of the situation she says she was subjected to. In her account, she explained that after earlier failed escape attempts, she once tried to swim away from the island. She stated this happened after she had been assaulted multiple times and after Ghislaine Maxwell allegedly restricted her access to food. She added that she was willing to risk her life in an effort to get away that night, saying she was determined to escape no matter the danger.
I spent the last 17 years in my own prison for what she, Jeffrey, and all the co-conspirators did to me. I was raped repeatedly. I was raped 3 times a day sometimes. And I was not the only girl on that island. There was a constant stream of girls being over and over and over again. And yes, Ghislaine must be in prison because I've been in hell and back for the last 17 years.
And 27 for me.
I was 10 years old when Liz Stein was being picked. I was 10. That is how long this trafficking ring has been.
Portions of the released documents containing victims' accounts from the island have reportedly been heavily redacted in places, leaving gaps in some of the recorded testimony. In another widely discussed incident from 2009, an alleged victim named Gabriela Jimenez, described as a young model, was said to have been seen outside a hotel in an emotional state, reportedly shouting that she had witnessed something disturbing involving influential visitors. Some online narratives have also drawn connections between these claims and past light-hearted exchanges in entertainment interviews, including conversations involving Ellen DeGeneres and Sandra Bullock, though these interpretations remain part of public speculation rather than verified fact.
Luis, esta es la triste realidad de la joven Gabriela Rico Jiménez, que como observamos en momentos intentó también agredir al elemento policíaco que logró someterla esta madrugada. Es por eso que bueno, vamos a buscar la versión de las autoridades.
It wasn't only Ellen DeGeneres who was being linked by online discussions to past jokes or comments that people later re-examined. After the release of parts of the Department of Justice Epstein-related files, Internet users began pointing out patterns in the language used across emails and documents. They noted that certain food-related words appear repeatedly in the correspondence, with terms like pizza, ice cream, and grape soda showing up in multiple places where their usage seemed unusual in context. This observation has fueled online theories suggesting these words could be coded references to illegal or sexual activity. However, there is no official confirmation from law enforcement that these terms carry any hidden meaning.
So I don't know what this one means. I'm not sure if you've seen it. This is Jeffrey Epstein sending it to Colin Olivier. And by the way, imagine, I feel bad for anyone that's innocent, that wasn't involved in anything incriminating, and maybe before Epstein was charged with in 2008, before the truth started coming out of what he's guilty of. If someone was caught in this email thread talking about something innocent with Epstein, I feel bad for them. So my heart goes out to them. And I hope they don't get stuck along with everyone else that's actually been involved in things that are incriminating. But this one sends an email. No, some are like shrimp. You throw away the head and keep the body. And then Olivier replies, as long as you don't have any hammerhead ones, are like white sharks. And then Jeffrey sends an email the next day. As two are Russian, I guess some might refer to them as white sharks. And then Olivier then emails, the king of Saudi has a few white sharks in his Jeddah palace. I totally prefer yours. Sure, I would enjoy the view. And then Jeffrey goes, on my island in the Caribbean with an aquarium full of girls. So this is an email that essentially just refers to Russian girls. To our Russian, doesn't say girls, to our Russian, and refers to them as white sharks. And then later says, the king of Saudi has some, but I prefer yours. And then later talks about an aquarium full of girls. It's just another example, in my opinion, of code words being used. I just don't know what it would mean. What do you make of this?
So what I make of it is basically he's saying that they'll hook up with ugly girls, that the head doesn't matter so much, that the body's what matter. That's the way I read it. That's what I think Epstein means by that, is basically saying like some of them are like shrimp. You can take off the head, just keep the body. So in other words, that's based on reading a lot of his stuff. That's my take. It totally could be.
These supposed coded word interpretations, while not evidence of any criminal activity, have continued to feed online conspiracy theories such as Pizzagate. As a result, some online commentators argue that the lack of detailed public explanation from influential figures has only added to public suspicion and speculation surrounding these narratives.
In speeches and interviews, you described Pizzagate as a baseless conspiracy theory, alleging you and others ran a trafficking ring from a Washington pizzeria basement. Have you reviewed any 2025-2026 Epstein files that were released that you believe reference or relate to those specific 2016 claims regarding the Podesta emails, Comet Ping Pong Pizza used as code possibly?
I'm sorry, you're asking her about whether she's reviewed emails in the Epstein files
was related to the wacky Pizzagate scam.
You could characterize it however you want. I just would like to know if she's familiar with any of them.
So
Please
excuse me,
comment.
your question is about whether or not she has reviewed any emails in the Epstein release files about Pizzagate.
Correct.
Pizzagate was totally made up. It was an outrageous allegation that ended up hurting a number of people, that caused a deranged young man to show up with his assault rifle and shoot up a local pizzeria. I can't believe you're even referencing it. You should be.
There are connections to the language.
Well, the QAnon people believe there are. So
I don't know what QAnon
have at
people
it.
believe.
At this stage, the discussion is often framed by viewers as extending beyond any single individual, and instead pointing to what they believe is a recurring pattern. In these interpretations, people who speak out are sometimes described as being discredited, dismissed, or even disappearing from public attention. Some online narratives also claim that investigations get delayed, evidence becomes inaccessible, or key details are lost, leaving behind stories that feel incomplete or inconsistent to certain audiences. From there, the conversation typically shifts into open-ended reflection, with viewers invited to consider whether these events are coincidence or something more deliberate, and to share their own thoughts in the comments. The video then encourages engagement by asking viewers to like, subscribe, and enable notifications for more similar breakdown-style content.